Hello everybody and welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. Welcome to a match preview for Oxford United's first Tuesday night game of the season, of the League One season, as of course we are hosting MK DONS. And when I say we, Oxford United, I obviously understand that some of you may not know, if you haven't looked at the thumbnail, you haven't looked at the title, I am an Oxford United supporter. I do match reactions, match preview and all that good stuff as well, but not just Oxford United. So if you're not an Oxford United fan or a club of whoever playing at the time, if you're not an MK DONS fan, for example, I understand we do lots of other things as well, like the world of football, other League One clubs as well. We talk all about those sort of things. The world of football and situations surrounding lots of other things surrounding football. It's a Young Fan Podcast, and that's just what we do here on the podcast. So let's crack straight on with things, and let's crack straight on with the match preview. However, I say let's crack straight on with things. We've got a few things I want to talk about first. We're on a road to 100 subscribers before the start of 2021 for watch-alongs and live podcast episodes from the start of the new year. If you'd like to be part of that, if you'd like to be part of the podcast journey here on the Young Fan Podcast, all you've got to do is hit subscribe. Of course, 92 subscribers are already subscribed to the Young Fan Podcast YouTube channel. However, if you'd like to be part of the journey and add to that, if we can potentially reach 100 subscribers before the end of the year, that would be fantastic. And of course, that's all you've got to do is hit subscribe if you enjoy the podcast content. Of course, leave a like on this episode of the podcast if you enjoy it as well. Follow Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff as well. But yeah, 100 subscribers before the end of the year. 92 subscribers. We're growing the podcast daily. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving creating the podcast content for all of you people. And if you like it as well, that's sort of a way of supporting. And that is leaving a like and subscribing as well. But that's what we're here for. We're here for the match preview for Oxford United versus MK DONS as well. Now, the second thing I'd like to speak about today is something that something very different, something we haven't done the podcast before. Quite a serious topic, quite something that I want to be taken quite seriously, and something I'd actually like to do again, down the line in the future, because obviously this is a very new podcast. It's only been online for about 2 months now, 2 or 3 months. So this is something that I really would like to do forward, and that is obviously charity work and raising money for specific causes. Obviously, it's in 2 months. We haven't really been able to do that yet. But this is the first one. It's currently the 20th of October, and I know I'm talking about something that's happening next month already, and we're not even in that month yet, but I would like to make you people aware of this now, because I will be sort of doing regular reminders during the month of November about a fantastic charity and a fantastic movement called the Movember Charity. It's an annual event involving the growing of moustaches during the month of November to raise awareness for men's health issues such as prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and men's suicide prevention. Obviously, 3 very, very important things that certainly should be made aware, and definitely should be a great cause to put your money in. So those causes and those things can certainly be resolved and helped using the donations that hopefully many people will do regularly donate every year. But I think as a podcast, for young fans, and this is for men as well, I think this will be fantastic and a really, really great charity that we could be part of. Such a minuscule part of what is a very, very big charity, but again, I want if we can get just a couple of donations to this unbelievable charity, which is obviously helping many men in November every single year. I feel like just being part of that for such a small part of that would be absolutely fantastic. Now, the reason why I've chosen this charity is because it means quite a lot to me, and also because a good friend of mine, Josh, has actually set up a link that he was like, he wants to do something, and he will be partaking in this, and I saw him do this, and I thought if we could help Josh raise money for charity, raising money for the Movember movement, that would be absolutely fantastic. Now, I understand, of course, this is this is not sort of like a must. Of course, that isn't what I'd like to ever do on the podcast. But if you would like to donate to that, the link is in the description, and this will be in the description every episode during the month of November. But the link in the description today. However, during November, like I just said, in every episode, that of course will be in the description as well. I just thought it'd be something nice to add, and so that we, as a podcast and a young podcast, it means quite a lot to me as well, because a lot of those things as well are a huge part and definitely should be made aware, and raising money for such a fantastic cause is something that we'd love to do here on the podcast, and something I'd love to do as well. So if you'd like to be a part of it, I'd just like to let you know there is of course a link in the description as well. Something we haven't done before, but helping out charities like that, and hopefully many others in the future, is definitely something I'd like to do. So I'd also just so if you could even check it out, even just clicking on that link and checking out to see what Josh is doing, things like that would be absolutely fantastic, and I really hope potentially you can check that out, and I'd really, really appreciate it. I'm sure Josh would as well. And also a big thanks to Josh for actually letting me do this, and him allowing me to say this on my podcast. I just thought it would be something really nice for him to do. I'm sure he would really want as many donations as he can, so the link to that donation page for him, as he's doing absolutely something absolutely fantastic. Donating there would mean such a lot to me, the podcast, and of course mainly Josh as well. That's it. It's his link, it is his donation page, but I'm sure it'd mean a lot to everybody really, because it's such a fantastic cause. Anyway, that's Movember, and that'll obviously be starting in November, in just not long now. We talk about the months flying, and the months are flying, and they're not just flying just how it normally goes. They're flying in football as well. The season is already, just to even be thinking about November in football and the Christmas period in football is absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much to Josh. Let's crack on with the match preview. Of course, tonight, Oxford United versus MK Dons. It's going to be a big game. Now, I also want to just make it very, very clear about how I feel about this game, and we're going to be speaking. It might be a bit of a longer episode today, and apologies if you don't like longer episodes, but it is a podcast. It's not really a sort of a YouTube channel sort of thing. I mean, it is a YouTube channel, but it's not a YouTube channel where we, do a 10-minute video about it. We like to go in depth. We like to really talk about specific things and really, really get to the bottom of discussions and really sort of speak about things in depth. It's what we do. It's what I love doing, and hopefully that is what you enjoy as well. If you're subscribed to this podcast, that is something that would be absolutely splendid. So thank you very much for doing that as well. And the 92 subscribers that are already subscribed as well, you hopefully are subscribed, because you know that these are long discussions where we speak about lots of interesting things in the world of football, in particular Oxford United at the moment, of course, as well. So we're bottom of the league. We're bottom of the table. Milton Keynes, of course, are 19th. They have won one game of 5 out of, I think it's 6. I want to say, is it 1 out of 6? I'm pretty sure they are a team that have played 6. Of course, we are very, very different to everyone else, because we've played obviously not 6. We have played 5 due to our postponed game, or it was obviously a postponed game against Crewe, and then our second postponed game against Crewe was not helpful either. I want to say they have played 6. Yes, they have played 6 as well. They've won their last game, and they've drawn 2 and won 1, and they've lost 3. So they're 19th in the table. They're not doing too badly. 19th in the table for Milton Keynes. Of course, we are rock bottom. 5 games, 3 points, 1 win, of course, and the rest losses. Today is the day. We've got to turn that around. I saw people in my match reaction that people were saying, a little bit negative, which is something that I'd never want to do. I never want to come across negative, but it is difficult when you're filming a match reaction literally, a minute after the game finishes. You do get an initial feeling of how the game's gone. That's what I want. That's what I'm a fan of Oxford United. That's what I'm always going to do. I'm always going to be honest about that. And this is not me panicking saying that we're desperate for 3 points. I mean, because I understand there are many points that we have, and that is obviously somebody made aware and commented. I think it's 123 points. Someone made it known to me. 123 points still yet to be had, and that is true. But we can say we've got 123 points left to be had, but we need momentum. That is the thing. We need momentum. And we haven't got that. You're not going to get momentum, and the only way you're going to get momentum is a consistent run of games and a consistent run of wins and positive results. Momentum has such importance. Look at the end of last season. The reason why we finished where we were and the reason why we got into the playoffs was because we got into that winning mentality and we started playing with confidence and really finding that momentum and finding that rhythm. this season, the reason, people can say it's only 5 games in, only 5 games, but the quicker you get that momentum and the quicker you can get that momentum winning mentality, the more successful you'll be going forward into the season, which is a problem for Oxford United, of course, when you're 5 games in with only 1 win and your last 2 games being defeats and your first 2 games being defeats. We've had 4 games and slap back in the middle is the only win we've had, and either side of that has been defeats as well. I'd rather have gone 4 games with defeats and then a win in the last one, because then you feel like in this game we can really push on some momentum. But we've still lost 2 games, so we can't build on really any results at the moment. And that is a problem. That is an issue that needs to be resolved. And building on results is something with such importance. If you build on results and you build on matches and things like that, that is where the results will come. Because, we've got to take it game by game, of course we do, but we have got to think in the long run as well. We've got some difficult games coming up this season, in which we need 3 points in. We need 3 points in. These 2 games now, of course, are huge. People can say Milton Keynes is a bit of a derby. I mean, it's location-wise, it is a derby. But the big game, of course, against Swindon who are 17th in the league table, is on Saturday. But a big derby day, Oxford United versus Swindon. If you know, you know. It's a huge game. But these 2 teams are 17th and 19th in the league. And I know we're bottom, and it's difficult to, it's difficult to be like they're only 17th or 18th. I mean, we're bottom, so it's very, very difficult to sort of speak about that. But these are 2 games where we can get momentum. We've got the squad, we've got the players that can do real damage. We've got the squad, we've got the players of top quality. At the moment, as a team, they're not working. As a moment, something is wrong. The defence looks shaky. Going forward, we can't seem to find the net. The midfield isn't linking up with the defence and the attack. Everything is going wrong in that sense. But we can turn this around. It's 5 games in. I know I'm sort of, I'm not in this. I didn't really sort of say this sort of thing in my match reaction. But you have to remember that is a match reaction based on that game. In the match reaction, I'm not really going to discuss where we go forward. In that, I'm going to be speaking about that game, the analytics of that game, and of course the player ratings and my thoughts on that, and all those sort of good things as well. I'm not going to speak about, the next good games, because that isn't what I want to do. This is the preview. This is sort of an opportunity for me to talk to you people, to talk about Oxford United and what's gone on in the week as well, because it's been a very busy week for Oxford United as well. I normally do these sort of previews on Thursdays. We even got a longer span, but a lot of things have come out of the media, and a lot of things have been said by players and the manager in just a few days ahead of this game against Milton Keynes. Because it's such a big game that the players know, and Carl Robinson knows as well, the manager, everyone, the fans knows that this is such a big game. If we don't beat MK Dons tonight, we go into this Swindon game, we go into this Swindon game with big problems, because we go into this game with a lack of confidence and the pressure of playing Swindon anyway. The players will know how much Swindon means to us, but I'm also not one of those fans that. I've just seen Osai has scored for the under-21s, which I mean, that obviously does suggest that Osai will not be playing tonight, obviously, which is interesting. I thought he was playing tonight, but there you go. That's some live information on the podcast as we record live. Well, not live. However, if you subscribe, 100 subscribers before the end of the year, we will be doing live episodes, but I mean live for me now. He won't be playing tonight, of course, but he wasn't in my prediction line, but anyway, as you can see. But what is important, I think, is that we go into this Swindon game with momentum, but we've also got to go out and the momentum will come from MK Dons today. It will come from that. We're at home, if that make a difference. I don't think it does. But it's a big game for Oxford United. Of course, we haven't played many away games. I think we've only played one. Is it one away game this season? We've only played Sunderland away from home in the first 5 games. Crew would have been at home, but that didn't turn out as, we've played Peterborough away, Accrington away, Lincoln away, and Peterborough away. So, those 4 games have been away. So we've got, we haven't got a bad record at home. Still, we've got a very bad record away so far. But at home, we've only played 1 game and lost that game. So if we can turn that that home form round into a win today, and then we go into another home game against Swindon as well, that's 2 big games. And 2 games, of course, that we need 3 points in each. We need 6 points in the next 2 games. And if we do that, we can climb up the table. We're on 3 points now. 6 points, results go away. We can probably get up to, obviously that'll be on 9 eventually. It goes our way. We can be mid-table by next... by after the Swindon game. By next Sunday, we could be sat in 10th. We could be sat in 10th by next Sunday, or after Saturday, so Saturday night, we could be sat in 10th. And that'd be great. We'd love to be there, 10th, and then we can build on there as well. Top of the league at the moment, obviously, is, which they've got 16 points. Hull City have got 15 points. Lincoln have got 13 points. They have some big point totals, and we're sat here with 3. It's not good. It's not good at all. But we can build on that. We're not going to win the league. I think that's gone now. I do think winning the league is completely out of our reach. I think automatic promotion is gone. We've got some very, very good teams in this league, but we've got to be up there. We've got to be in that playoffs. That's where we want to be, and I still believe we can do that. It's delusional, some would say, but 5 games in, it's only 5 games in. And it's not me sort of using the 5 games as a bit of an excuse. It's only 5 games. It's not that. It's momentum. Once we find that momentum, that will come as well. Last season, the momentum was a huge reason why we finished where we did. And that's why we've got to find that today. And it all starts today, of course. And, there's different reasons why I feel like we might be not doing as well. Excuse me one sec. When I speak, mouth goes completely dry. And then I need a drink because I speak very quickly. Hopefully it's not too quick. Hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. But anyway, there are a few facts I think why they are. When I say facts, I'm going to emphasise the word factors and not excuses, because there's a big difference. Excuses, of course, is one of those things where the reason why we're not doing well is because of this, and this. It's not because what we're doing wrong. It's this, and this. It's not our fault. It's these problems. It is our fault. The reason we're not doing very well is the performance from the players generally haven't been very good, or as good as they can be. That is a fact. And the players will probably admit that, and I certainly will as well as a fan, who will back up for the players. 9 times out of 10, I'll always back the players, and I still do back the players. Of course I do. I back the players. I back the manager. I back everybody at this club, but the players have just not been very good enough this season to be competing, hence why we're bottom of the league. But we've got the quality, we can turn that around. A big factor I do think is, and it's could it be, I don't know, you tell me, is it the lack of fans impacting? And obviously I understand it's for every team, it is another team, but I think for Oxford United as well, I feel like we do rely a lot on having such a fantastic fan base. In my opinion, I'm biased, I do think we have one of the best fan bases in England, and that isn't just me being a biased opinion out of anything. I do think we do, generally because as well, that the amount of fans we take to stadiums, the amount of fans we take away to stadiums across the country as well, we do tend to take a big crowd away from home. Some teams take hundreds of people. We tend to take thousands of people to stadiums, which is is a fantastic thing. And I think that is a reason why we do generally have such a fantastic. I remember an away game against Portsmouth last season. That away trip and everything like that. The amount of Oxford United fans, supporting the players was unbelievable. We packed up the full Portsmouth away stand, which is unbelievable. Portsmouth, for so many teams probably didn't even expect that, but we turned up in our masses and we had an unbelievable crowd there. So that was great, and that was a great trip as well. But we do have a fantastic fan base, and I think sometimes the players probably do rely a lot on the on the fans, and the players do look up to the fans in a sense of this is what we're doing it for. And it must be very difficult for players. You're walking out of empty stadium after empty stadium. It must be very difficult because you're so used to walking out with yellow and blue balloons being thrown in your head and chanting your name for 90 minutes, and we consistently sing and chant for 90 minutes straight if it's a league game. Even if it goes to extra time, it's happened before. We've sang through all of that, and then you're going into an empty stadium with really the only shouts of yourself, your teammates, and obviously the managers and staff. So it's very, very different, and I'm sure, and trust me, it would be extremely eerie and difficult, very, very difficult surroundings. So I can understand it is really, really difficult, and it would be making an impact. But obviously you've got to remember as well, that's the same for Gillingham, for Sunderland, for Peterborough, all those different teams we've already played this season, and every other team is the same for everything else. It is the same. For all those teams, but do Oxford United, because we have such a fantastic fan base, and so do many others as well. I'm not saying that every other League One fans are, they don't have fans like us. I'm sure they do, and there are some unbelievable fan bases across League One and in the whole world, and in England as well in particular. But we do rely a lot on our fans as players, and as a football club, we rely on a lot of our fans. So is that an impact? I don't know. It's not an excuse. It's just something that could be something looked into. But until there are fans at any stadiums, until that is safe, of course, safety first, of course, that's the case. We won't find out. But It is a big factor. It is a big factor that I feel like maybe could be an impact. But regardless, we're not going to have fans for a while now, so we've got to get used to it. So let's crack on tonight with a win at home at the Caterham Stadium against MK Dons. My particular line, of course, is on the screen now. Eastwood in goal. Some people said that it could drop Eastwood off some pretty dodgy performances, in recent games. But you look at some of his saves. He's had a decent game. He's had some decent games. He's made some decent saves. He's been quite inconsistent, I felt at times, though. I must say that. A lot of people sort of have said. That he's always amazing. I mean, there have been some games this season where I don't think he's been up to his stretch. I mean, getting beaten at his near post in the last game was obviously something that's definitely impacted the game and sort of let us down in a way. But he should keep his place. I know Stevens is doing great, but Eastwood is Eastwood, man. He's such an important part of this team and such an integral part of Oxford United that I can't see Carl Robinson dropping. Look. I can't see Carl Robinson drop him. I can't see that Carl Robinson say, Jack Stevens, you're starting this season. I can't see that. Eastwood's a leader as well. He's been experienced. He knows what he's doing. He won't be dropped. Simon East, I don't want him to be dropped either. Simon East would just stay in goal. Right back, I've gone with Sean Clare. He'll go right back today. I'm pretty sure he's fit. No news anywhere else. So Clare right back. Now, yes, I have put Axon there for a reason. It's not because I've forgotten to change it from last week. I have put Atkinson there because I just pray he's fit. I pray he's fit. I mean, Oxford United and Carl Robinson do like to sometimes say that players are out for a short amount of time and precaution reasons and stuff like that, when they're actually out for a little while. So please, Atkinson, can you be available tonight? I think he is. I mean, I do believe he is. I don't think he isn't. I don't think he's not available. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I really do hope he is. I haven't heard anything else. I don't know if that's me being sort of not looking hard enough and not looking at all the details. I'm pretty sure he is fit though. So hopefully, yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. So hopefully he is available. Hopefully he is fit, and hopefully he can play. That would be great if he could. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But Atkinson and Moore should be they're the strongest partnership. If Long has to come in instead of Atkinson, I think Long's done a decent game. I think he's been pretty solid. I wouldn't be crying myself to sleep if Long was playing. Obviously, I prefer a player that's played centre back and is his actual centre back. But sometimes you've got to deal with it. Atkinson, is probably hopefully is a bit, but if not, it'll be Long, of course, in at centre back with Moore. Left back, Josh Ruffles, obviously. I'm pretty sure he is fit. Left back, Josh Ruffles. Gorin, in my opinion, I've said this pretty much every single time now. When he's fit, Gorin is in the team. He's got to be in there. Kelly, I like Kelly, but Gorin's got to be in there. Gorin is, the defensive stability that this man brings to Oxford United is unbelievable. He picks up the ball, he brings in a tackle, he causes problems, and we need a bit of that inner strength. When he puts in a big tackle, that is a tackle that can change games. You don't want to get near him now, and this is a player in the mix of everything. Gorin has got to be in that team. He's an integral part of Oxford United, and we have missed him. Gorin has to start today. If he's fit, he's got to start, and I will be frustrated if he doesn't, because he's such an important part. I know what Gorin brings to Oxford United. I've been there, I've seen it, and anyone that can watch a football match and knows what's happening in football, you will see how much Gorin impacts Oxford United. So I really do hope he does play. In front of him, a two in midfield. Now Ford has to start. For me, he's been great. I think he's been a player this season that I think in a poor team, I'd say, that hasn't been performing very well together, Ford has been a standout. Ford has been very, very good. I was a bit worried and concerned about his future at Oxford United, but Ford has turned everything around. He has turned out to be a huge part in midfield. He's been good, and I'm looking forward to seeing a potential Ford and Brannigan thing going on there. Of course, Brannigan, he won't be there. After suffering an eye infection, he won't be playing today. But Ford and McGuane in that midfield today. That's what I want to see. McGuane, I think. The problem with McGuane is, I think it's been a bit hard. I mean, he didn't play. He played against Lincoln and didn't have a good performance, and he was dropped against Sunderland. He had a great pre-season. I want to see McGuane back in that team. I think he offers something good. I think he opens that pace and power. He's almost a bit like a Baptiste. I want to see Marcus McGuane back in that midfield. I don't know what Carl Robinson does. I don't think he maybe fancies Maguire as much as the fans sort of want him to play. I think fans do want to see him play. So I hope he does play. I hope Marcus McGuane does get back into that team today. I mean, if he doesn't get into the team with Brannigan not in it and now Goring coming back, I don't know how he's going to fit into this team. I want to see a Goring, Ford, McGuane partnership. I don't think we've seen all four of them play together this season. So I want to see it. I think Kelly's got to be dropped. Kelly hasn't been fantastic this season. I had big expectations for Kelly, and I still believe he's a good player. But he has let us down a few times this season. So I would say, give Kelly a rest, give him what he needs. Ford, McGuane in that midfield with Goring behind him. That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see. Anyway, front three. Dan Adji stays again. Dan Adji's got to stay in the team because we could have put Shadipo, obviously the new player, in, and hopefully we might see that. I doubt he's going to start him though. Dan Adji's been in good form. To be honest with you, I think he's been really good. Powerful paces down that wing. I can't see him just come straight in Shadipo for Dan Adji. I can see Shadipo on the bench today, but Dan Adji, I think he'll start today. Taylor up front and Henry, of course, as well. So that's my predicted line. It's not really predicted. That's what I want to see. I wouldn't predict that. I probably would predict Kelly starting. I probably would predict Long starting. I probably would predict those sort of things. But that is the team I want to see. That is the team on the screen right now that I want to see. If you agree with that, leave a comment. If you don't agree with it, tell me as well. Anyway, that's my match preview. That is what I want to see tonight. It's coming. This should be coming out at about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock for the game at 7, and hopefully the match reaction will be coming out tomorrow as well. I don't really want to release a match reaction at about 12 o'clock midnight because it's not very suitable for everybody. But tomorrow there'll certainly be a match reaction for this game. Hopefully you look forward to seeing that as well. Remember, subscribe. We're on a road to 100 subscribers for a live episode of this watch-along, this podcast, doing a watch-along, doing a match reaction, all of this stuff live, so you can interact with me. We can have a chat. We can speak about the games. We can speak about football. If that's what you want, hit that subscribe button as well. Remember, Movember next month we're going to be supporting the Movember the Movember charity and the Movember. In November, of course, raising awareness for men's health issues, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and suicide prevention. That's what we're going to be doing, and that is what I really want to do on the podcast, raising money for charity. That is what I want to do, and I think November is a fantastic charity that means a lot to me, and of course means a lot to who we're actually to a good mate of mine, Josh. Of course, if you were at the start, Josh. Obviously, he's raising money for that charity, and we'd like to help him out on the podcast as well. So that would be fantastic if you could do that. That would be unbelievable. I thank you so much for that. Anyway, that's where I'm going to wrap up this episode of the podcast. I never do sort of a match preview on the day of the game, so I'm very excited tonight. But yeah, leave your score predictions as well. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the podcast, and I will see you later. Have a good rest of your week. I will see you tomorrow, but after that, have a good night. Have a decent night on Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll speak to you tomorrow, and I will see you later. See you later, people.